Fabolous, Dave East, and Mano. But how likely is it that Banks is about to drop? After dropping a multitude of freestyles this year, is it possible that Banks is in that mode? Is it possible that him and 50 have rekindled things? What is up Banks' sleeve? Is Fabolous about to get what he wasn't looking for? Hey, look, I need you to hit the like and hit the hype button because we about to get deep.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are watching this whole thing just explode online right now. It's a full-scale internet frenzy.
It really is.
And it's all centered on this really high-stakes hip-hop conflict. This is so much more than just beef. We're talking about business. We're talking legacy. Who controls the story of New York rap?
Exactly. What we're seeing is it's a phenomenon. You have one of the most strategic, most successful rappers ever, 50 Cent, and he is suddenly facing what's basically becoming an alliance.
Right, an alliance built around the guys from the Let's Rap About It podcast.
Yeah.
So you have 50 on one side, and then on the other you've got this core group, Fabolous, Jim Jones, Mano, Dave East's name keeps coming up too. Our mission today is to cut through all of the noise, you know, the memes. We are going to do a deep dive into the sources, figure out where this all started, why these guys are teaming up now, and what the real tactical goal is here.
And we have to talk about the wild card.
We absolutely have to. The biggest wild card in this whole thing. The potential, and I mean potential involvement of Lloyd Banks. We're here to give you the context, the key moves in this. What one source called the WWF Internet Rap version.
That's a perfect description. And if you really want to understand it, you have to start with the spark, which surprisingly is Fabolous. Because this wasn't some old feud.
No. That's what makes it so interesting. These two, I mean, they had a decent relationship for years.
A working relationship, for sure.
You'd see them together at Branson Weekend, running in the same circles with artists like a Boogie, and this is the detail that gets me. They were on stage together right after Slow got robbed.
Right. They were associates. They were comfortable in the same space.
Which, you know, brings us to 50's history of critiquing Fab. It's not new, and that critique is kind of the intellectual core of this whole thing, isn't it?
It really is. Because even when they seemed cool, 50 was publicly saying that Fabolous, who everyone agrees is an incredible lyricist, that's not up for debate.
Never disputed.
Right. But 50's point was that Fab never had that full-on moment. He never felt like, in 50's words, the nah period right now.
It's such a specific distinction in rap culture. It's the difference between being a star and being the star.
Exactly. The main event versus a high-caliber supporting actor. 50's argument was always, yeah, Fab has tons of platinum records, so many hot verses.
Yeah.
But they were often on R&B tracks.
Or on someone else's record. He was the feature, not always the primary driver.
And that might seem like a small point, but for an artist's ego, for their legacy, it's everything. 50 even used the La Marina remix as an example, saying like, yeah, the track was hot, but it needed me to take it to another level.
So that criticism has just been simmering for years, but the thing that set it off right now, the immediate trigger, was way less subtle. It was that squatting comment.
Oh, yeah.
50 just threw this really direct shot, lumping Fabolous in with other artists who are squatting on what they've already done instead of moving the culture. That was the line.
And Fab responded. He responded directly in a freestyle.
And it was heat. Lyrically, people were saying this was a major, major verse. He went right at 50's character, his reputation.
Which brings us to, I think, the most telling part of this whole first round, 50 Cent's silence.
Yeah. For a guy like 50 Cent who, I mean, his whole second career is built on instant digital confrontation, right?
Exactly. It's true.
To then be quiet on Instagram for, what was it, like 19, 20 hours?
Unheard of. The silence was, it was deafening. It said more than a post would have, and it just fueled all this speculation.
Was he shook? Was he just too busy with his TV shows, or was he, you know, in the lab cooking up the diss track of the century?
Whatever the reason, the delay was strategic. It let Fab's verse build momentum, which just put more and more pressure on 50's response.
And when he finally did respond, it wasn't a track. It was a classic calculated 50 Cent Instagram post.
The picture of him toasting with a glass.
Yep. Looked like a generic New Year's message at first. He said, let's toast to success, health, and prosperity. I'm planning my new year. When I'm done, I'll come out to play.
But that last sentence,
yeah,
that was the real message.
Oh, yeah. Everyone who plays with me wishes they didn't in the end. That's not a toast. That's a threat on a timer.
A declaration of war, basically.
So this gets us to the core debate here, the bars question. The sources all agree that what Fab showed is that he has strong quotables. Can you explain for anyone listening what that really means in a battle?
Quotables are everything. They're the punchlines, the lines that are so smart or so cutting that they're instantly memorable.
The things you see in Instagram captions the next day.
Exactly. They stick. They spread. That's what wins you the cultural argument in a rap battle. And 50 Cent, he's the undisputed king of the hook.
Right. Global anthems, selling millions of records.
Precisely. His strength is commercial power. But historically, when you look back, when he's gone straight up bar for bar against pure spitters, think about the locks back in the day.
Right.
The consensus is that sometimes 50 had to kind of fall back from the pure lyrical side of it. He wins the war in the marketplace, but the technical battle can go the other way.
And this fight started with a freestyle, so it's demanding bars first and foremost.
It sets the terms of engagement.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly. Now let's talk about how the whole game changed. Because the second Fab dropped that verse, this wasn't a one-on-one anymore.
No, it instantly became us against him. And that is a huge tactical shift.
It's not Fab versus 50. It's Fab now aligned with Jim Jones and that whole circle against 50.
And for someone like Jim Jones getting Fabolous in his corner, that's a massive boost. That's a level of sort of high-star quality backing that he just didn't have before in these public spats.
You're talking about a platinum-selling artist, undisputed catalog, connections to Jay-Z. Fab's involvement just legitimizes the whole thing as a unified movement. It's not just a bunch of random guys catching strays.
And you have to look at how open they are about the strategy. Take Mano. The sources point out that Mano is just straight up about it. He says beef with 50 Cent is good for business.
He's happy to be in the algorithm, happy to go viral.
It's purely strategic for him. He knows that having 50 Cent aim at you is the best way to get clicks and get eyes on you. He's not even hiding it. And he flat out says, I'm not scared of 50 Cent.
That says so much about where the culture is at right now, you know? Attention is the real currency. Getting 50 to talk about you, even if it's negative, is a win.
It's the modern attention economy. But that brings up a good question. If the goal is just clicks, do you even need the high-quality bars?
Exactly. Maybe a diss track isn't even the point.
For the fans, especially older fans, they're waiting for that lyrical knockout. But for the artists, like Mano, maybe the ongoing engagement of it all, the interviews, the social media back and forth, that might actually be more profitable than one 4-minute song.
It's a business play. And we should probably mention Dave East, too. He's the youngest guy in this.
Good margin.
And his bars they weren't heavy shots. The thinking is he might get a pass because he's not in that same legacy bracket. Maybe he doesn't really want the full smoke.
This is really a fight among the 40-plus legends. But the key thing here is still Fabolous. By siding with them, he made a statement.
Yeah, enough is enough.
He's reminding people, I'm from Brooklyn, I have a legacy, and my crew, Street Fam, was, nothing to play with back in the day. It's a show of force.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the ultimate wild card. The name that just sends a chill through the whole conversation whenever G-Unit drama is involved.
Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks, the speculation is just, it's everywhere. Is he going to jump in?
And that question is so complicated because of the relationship, or lack of one, between him and 50. And our sources give two totally different stories for why they fell out.
So what's 50's public version?
50's version is, it's good, harsh. He compares Lloyd Banks to his own estranged son, Maris.
Wow.
He says they're in the same boat, no contact, no relationship. He suggests Banks has something internally going on that's holding him back.
He even told that story about his son Maris missing out on creating, the first StockX app or something.
Right. And the implication is that some kind of internal issue, maybe resentment, is keeping both Maris and Banks from reaching their potential. That's 50's narrative.
But there's a completely different story out there.
A much more personal and painful story.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from Trav, who's connected to Jim Jones, but used to be tight with the G-Unit camp.
And what does Trav say?
Trav claims a whole split started when Banks' father passed away. He says Banks was obviously grieving, and 50, who didn't grow up with his own dad, basically minimized his pain, said he couldn't relate.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And that apparently left Banks feeling like 50 was playing a fake role and just couldn't understand that kind of loss. So that version makes it intensely personal. It's not about business at all.
That's heavy. But let's bring it back to this current fight. Personal history aside, why does Lloyd Banks matter so much lyrically right now?
Because lyrically, Banks is on an absolute tear this year. He dropped Halloween Havoc. He's been dropping freestyles that are just Astronomical is the word people are using.
So in terms of pure spitting.
In terms of pure spitting, right now, Banks is arguably operating on a level above everyone else in this conversation, including 50. If he got involved, he'd elevate the entire thing to a different lyrical stratosphere.
If he sided with 50 and dissed Fab in them, it could be a game over moment.
Instantly. But the consensus seems to be that he's very unlikely to get involved at all.
And there's even a belief that he and Fab might actually be on better terms than he and 50 are.
Which leads to the wildest possible scenario. The thing that would actually break the internet.
What's that?
If Lloyd Banks does surface
Yeah.
and he disses 50 Cent.
Wow. Instead of siding with him.
Can you imagine? The ultimate betrayal, the definitive end of that chapter. It's super speculative, of course, but just the possibility makes him this huge shadow hanging over everything.
The anticipation is just crazy. Okay, let's zoom out for a second and just think about this waiting game. We have to remind you, the main people here, 50, Fab, Jim Jones, Mano, these guys are in their 40s, pushing 50.
The age factor changes everything. This is about legacy and business, not just street cred anymore. And all eyes are on 50's next move. He said he's planning, and he'll pop back out after the new year.
So for you listening to this, what does it all mean? Are we waiting for a lyrical masterpiece or just like a really smart business move?
I think everyone hopes 50 will rap. That's what the fans want. But we have to be realistic. This is a global media mogul we're talking about. It ain't 2003 no more.
Right.
The response might be more strategic. It might be business related. Because he just has so much more to lose now than he did 20 years ago.
And if he does rap, does he even drop his own track? I'm hearing more and more speculation about him using another platform.
The Murdoch's wrap-up.
To wrap up 2025.
It would be the perfect move. So efficient, it lets him deliver the knockout punch on a platform that's already a huge cultural event every year. He wouldn't have to stop his TV productions or anything.
So until then, we all just wait?
We wait, the alliances get stronger, and the pressure on 50 just keeps building.
So to just kind of synthesize all this for you, this whole conflict is really a masterclass in modern hip-hop strategy. It's not just about who's got the best bars.
Not at all. It's about business. It's about forming these alliances. And it's about using all this deep personal history, the Fab and 50 history, the 50 and Banks history, to generate as much attention as possible.
Which leaves us with a final thought, a final question for you.
Yeah, and this is the big one. Given the age of these artists, given their focus on business, is the real goal here to actually produce the best, most devastating diss record? Or is it simply to generate the most viral, most profitable internet traffic for everyone involved? The business of beef might be the only win that really matters anymore.